Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tempe City Council and Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing joint meeting, Affordable Housing Board joint meeting. Council meetings can be watched in real time via Cox Cable Channel 11 and at tempe.gov/tempe11. Members of the public may also attend the meeting virtually through Microsoft Teams. We've already done, item number 2, welcome and introductions. As we said before, this is a Tempe City Council and Housing Affiliate joint meeting, so we won't go around the table and do introductions today because we all know each other at this point in time. But let's go ahead then go to item number 3, which is Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing updates, and that is Irma Hollenby-Kane. Irma.
All right. There we go. Thank you, Mayor Woods, council members. My name is Irma Hollenby-Kane, and on behalf of the Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing, I am joined by a couple of my colleagues, Teresa Carmichael, our CFO, and Manjula Vaz, one of our board members. So the Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing, referred to affectionately by the city as the affiliate, is an extension of the Tempe Housing Authority and is formed to meet certain HUD requirements that allows us to pursue objectives outside of traditional HUD funding. So more specifically, it's structured to allow the flexibility to operate similarly to a private developer. The Tempe Coalition can acquire real property, secure loans, qualify as a 501c3 for funding opportunities that housing authorities, generally speaking, and general governments are not qualified for, such as philanthropic monies. So, and to ultimately hold properties permanently affordable and workforce housing units for the community. Our agreement with the city includes responsibilities such as maintaining records and conducting itself as a public body as per Arizona revised statutes, maintaining its nonprofit 501c3 status, conducting all interaction and transactions with the city in a manner that preserves not an instrumentality of the city relationship as defined by HUD, and provision of quarterly and finance and performance reporting that I typically give to the Housing Governing Board, and coordinate annually with the city, and that is the primary reason we are meeting today. So who do we serve? We serve all residents who are low to moderate income. That means 80% or below of area median income. Our housing unit rents are based on household income. So you might be interested to know that 70% of our households are extremely low or low income. 70% of our household sizes are 4 people or less. More than 50% of our households have children, and nearly 60% of households are employed. Now let's talk about how we serve. If I can go on to the next slide, please. Next slide. There we go. So before I move on, I want to share that TCH began working with a group called Javelina back in May of 24. And our work with Javelina is focused on purpose-driven branding and marketing so that TCAH can maximize its impact and build strong community connections as we fulfill our mission of providing permanent, affordable housing. So the foundation of Javelina's work with us is to help us identify our core purpose and develop messaging that will powerfully communicate to both internal and external folks about what we're about. So allow me to reintroduce you to TCAH, where we envision a world where every person has a safe and secure place to call home, allowing them to thrive in their life and their community. And our mission is very, very simple. We're providing permanently affordable housing options in the city of Tempe. Okay. How do I move this on? Okay. Our core services and goals are a mixture of who we are now and who we endeavor to become. I won't read these to you, but please take a moment to review the slide. All right. So what have we been up to? We've been pretty busy this year. We own a $14.5 million portfolio consisting of 1 studio apartment, 11 one-bedroom units, 29 two-bedroom units, 5 three-bedroom units, and 9 single-family homes scattered throughout the city of Tempe, available to rent to low to moderate income Tempeans. The TCAH board prioritized and approved the acquisition of a vacant lot located at 1409 East Apache. We did this with last year's allocation of Hometown for All funds, and we hope to also acquire the vacant lot across the street from this vacant lot that's currently owned by the FTA, and then RFP it to affordable developers to stand up 40 to 60 units of affordable housing. Currently, it's standing as a dirt lot, and we're collecting $5,000 a month in rent as a parking lot to a nearby construction site. The TCAH board will again go through the exercising of prioritizing our acquisition and development strategy for the year at our upcoming September 18th meeting. We currently own 2 lots that they're embedded in established Tempe neighborhoods. Staff is working to RFP these lots to the developer community for home ownership opportunities. Last year, we went through a tremendous effort to determine for the first time the capital needs of our portfolio. This capital needs assessment will help us to plan future capital expenditures, establish a capital reserve, and allocate resources more effectively so that we preserve and maintain the value of our assets over time. The city recently acquired 2 housing units with its CDBG funds, and thank you to council members for recently approving its transition to the Tempe Coalition, where we will take on stewardship of the homes. The homes are currently in rehab, and they will be up for rent in a couple of months. Since bringing on MEBA as our property management partner, our operations have improved tremendously. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to MEBA. So they've taken on the day-to-day operations of running our portfolio, and they do that seamlessly, and they also treat our residents with the utmost dignity and respect. And they've been a tremendous partner to us, and I just want to thank them. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, we're working with a group called Javelina to brand and market our nonprofit. We've seen significant progress over the months, and next time we meet, I hope that we have a logo and a website to share with you. This concludes my remarks. Any questions before we move on to the financials?
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Irma. Council members or board, any questions or comments? Sounds great to me. I think we all look forward to the website. So
Thank you. So
thank you.
Teresa Carmichael, if you wouldn't mind taking it away with our finances.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor Woods, council members, I'm pleased to bring a financial update to you again. I think it's been at least a year since we've met. I'd like to give you a quick background. When I joined with the coalition in early 2023, we were really focused on the nuts and bolts of accounting, trying to get our structure and processes so that we could give you reports that were more accurate, consistent, and timely. It was also necessary for us to get our portfolio valued and on the books properly. Also during this period, we engaged the new property management company that Irma referred to, and now that we're about a year down the road from that transition, and we've accomplished these other goals, we're now looking at what I would say are the more rewarding or fun aspects of accounting. And that's how the numbers speak to us. How are we meeting our mission? Are we sustainable? The numbers will give us feedback. So right now, we are really in the process of developing, trying to identify the best financial performance indicators that will help us evaluate our ability to sustain and grow. That is still a work in process. We don't have a great deal of history to look at trending yet, but we are developing this and look for more to come from us. I would like to talk about the financials that you do have in your packet very briefly. Let's see, are they on? No, I think you have them.
No, they're in their packet.
Okay, you have them as a packet handout. Just to hit the high points, as of June 30, this is our last quarterly report, our cash position was $6 million. This was prior to the current year transfer of Hometown for All monies, so that has significantly increased as of today. Our fixed assets at net book value are just under $13 million, and we have a tiny bit of liabilities to the tune of $125,000. So we are in a strong financial position. I will refer you to the next page, our statement of activity. Just going to point out a little bit of anomalies. When we factor out, our revenue to date is at $500,000 at 6 months. When we look at just what the rental operations are producing for us, that's approximately $62,000 a month. This has been fairly consistent over the last 18 months. Unusual items here, our legal and professional are slightly elevated, and this reflects what Irma spoke to earlier. We've been spending some dollars investing it in the capital needs assessment and our branding and communications. The other anomalies on this report really relate to our sale of the property at 2423 East Apache. It was a property that wasn't going to meet our needs, so we sold it. The items on the financial that are unusual with regard to that are property tax. This was not a property that met the affordable housing exemption for property taxes, so we did have to remit property taxes. We have higher than normal security that was required to deal with that property. And then lastly, we had a gain. We experienced a gain of $187,000 upon the disposal. So factoring that out, I did want to note for you that our rental operations after depreciation are at about break even. When we back into what that means we are cash flowing positively from rental operations of about $20,000 a month. And that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Teresa. Really appreciate it. Any comments or questions from anyone up here? All right, seeing none. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That brings us to item number 5, Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing Portfolio Performance Update, and that will be Danielle Amorosa.
Danielle will not be joining us today, but online is Christy Alvarado.
Okay, wonderful. And also, I should
Hi,
note, too, just before you start, is Vice Mayor Garland online as well?
Yes, I am, Mayor.
Okay, just wanted to make sure for the audience watching at home. Okay, sounds good. Please go
Thank
forward.
you. Good afternoon. My name is Christy Alvarado. I am with MEB Affordable Management Services, and we're very excited to be working with you and your team. We currently manage about 2,500 apartments throughout Arizona. We have a dedicated manager and maintenance supervisor for all of your properties with Tempe Coalition. They do work Monday through Friday, but they're available 24/7 for emergencies after hours. We are seeing that the average turn of a vacant apartment or home is about 7 days. The application process takes about 2 business days for us to approve or deny an applicant. Right now, we manage 56 total homes for you. 2 homes are in renovation. 1 is down due to some damage. And then we have 2 vacant homes that are currently have applications, and they should be approved and moved in at the end of the week. Our annual turnover for total of homes or townhomes is 13, or about 23% of your portfolio. Some of the reasons for move-outs are due to needing a larger home, 1 transferred within your portfolio, moving into a nursing home, 2 moved out of state, doggone it, 2 moved out due to some conflict with neighbors, and 1 lost a job and had to move in with family. And then we did have 2 evictions for non-payment. With the non-payments, we do work closely with them. We try to help them get assistance with their rent payment. Sometimes that does not work out, unfortunately, and we're very sad when that does happen, but we did have 2 that were evicted. And then the average length of stay for your residents is 2.5 years. We do have 1 resident that has lived the longest, and that is 5 years. And that is my update.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Does anyone have any comments or questions? All right. Hearing none, thank you so much again. That moves us to item number 6, announcements and miscellaneous. So item 6A, city council announcements. Members of the city council, any announcements that you have at this time? No? Okay. Then I'll move to item 6B, Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing announcements. Any announcements from the board?
No announcements, Mayor.
All right. Thank you so much. That brings us then to item number 7, adjournment. The next scheduled Tempe City Council and Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing Board meeting is going to be on March 3rd, 2025. And with that, we are adjourned at 4:15.